Morning YouTube, how are you doing? Well, this is BLKCC here, and what I'm doing is I'm making a carbine length 2-point sling. Now I do have some nylon straps that are going to be on the end that actually hold the sling onto the gun, but I'm using paracord. You can't really see it once again very close up, but you can see the lengths that I have down here. What I did is I started with 25-foot lengths of cord because I was thinking about it should be probably about a 25-inch length that's on the gun as far as the part that's going to be paracord braided. So let me move up a little bit closer for you guys and you can kind of see what I've been doing. Now coming in here, looking at this, I've got lighting. It's probably not the best, but if you look at it, what I did is I've got real black paracord. I went to MCRD down here in San Diego and picked up the black paracord. This is of course, real black 550 cord. So I got that, and then the other stuff, to me it's almost like multicam colors, but it's like a woodland cami color, but it kind of reminds me more of like a multicam. Hopefully the light is picking it up correctly. I'm gonna try to get the better lighting here. If you look at it, and once again, hopefully it's in focus for you. But if you look at it, what will end up happening is, you can kind of see the multicam-ish colors almost going into a woodland cami. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up a little bit, come here to the side. Now I was doing this. This is my very first one. I've never done one before. This is the very first thing I've ever done like this. So let me kind of move in a little bit. Hopefully I can get a little bit closer in for you. There you go. Maybe I need to back up a little bit. Let me see here. And my hands are going to get in the way, I'm sure. But I kind of wanted to show you the way I was doing it. I've been looking at like tying it all together. JD over there. I was looking at several other ones. He seems to be the most prevalent. So anyways, that's why I named him. But in doing this, being a first timer also, it was really kind of hard for me to figure out which one goes where. Yeah, I've got one or two, knots that might not be perfect on here. Matter of fact, I'm actually quite sure of it. I've noticed some myself. It does seem to be fairly tight. I mean, you can, by using the middle, you can kind of push it up a little bit. After a while, it gets kind of hard to. So that way you can, push them all together, get it nice and tight. So at the very end, if I need to, I can make up a little bit of room. But yeah, I mean, that's like really tight now. It's almost to where the bend, if you bend it, you can see kind of where the bend will stay. But anyways, in working this thing, what I'm doing is I've noticed that there's a pattern that nobody else has said that I have seen anyway so far. Got to remember I'm a Pollock doing this, so yeah, it might not be perfect. So anyways, let me just, because if you looked farther up, everybody knows how to, put the little cow's hitch or whatever they want to call it on there. Everybody knows how to do it. I don't feel I need to show that to everybody on YouTube. Everybody does it. This is a standard double wide weave that everybody on the internet does also. One thing, like I was saying, that I noticed that nobody else did was mention this. Okay, as a beginner, maybe you other people that do it all the time know, it's actually a lot simpler now that I've been doing it for a while, as far as this strip goes anyways. But what ends up happening is what I've noticed is that my accent color is going to be, I'll call it woodland cami. So my accent color is going to be this woodland cami here. So if you always start off with the outside base color, which for me it'll be black. If you always start off with your base color, then go with your accent color. Okay, cinching it up tight. Bring it up a little bit closer. Once again, always start off with your base color, which is the black, then use your accent color. For me, it was kind of hard to get that down pat because I kept on having to look at YouTube and go, oh man, which color do I have to do next? Which one do I have to do next? Going to the other side, always start off with your base color. So always start off with your base color, which is my black, then go to my accent color. And I kind of like to do this one behind because I feel like I can get a little bit tighter. Once again, start off with your base color, which is black, then use your accent color. I don't know if it works on any of the other weaves. This is my very first paracord weave I've ever done in my entire life. Maybe I got a little ambitious by trying to do a whole entire, a whole entire sling for a gun. Maybe I was a little ambitious, but what the heck, you get to learn. And I always overlap, because you're supposed to cross them. I always overlap my left side going to my right side. My left side is always on top. So once again, you overlap, or I'm sorry, start off with your base color, then use your accent color. So let me snug that up. And hopefully my arms aren't getting in the way too much. Once again, start off with your base color, then go to your accent color. And if you're not using the accent color and it's all black, well, I guess you're up a creek without a paddle then, because I don't know what the hell you're going to do. But that side's done. Once again, go into the other side, which my hands are going to be behind it. Let me kind of straighten out some of my cords here. But my hands are going to be behind it, but start off with my base color, go with my accent color. And cinch it up. Start off with my base color, go to my accent color. Okay, once again, I want the left side on top. Start off with my base color, go to my accent color. And like I said, I've never done this before. I've seen it on YouTube, thought it was kind of cool. Thought I'd give it a whirl. If other people can do it, why can't I? Start off with my base color, go to my accent color. And if you do it like this, you don't get confused on which color you should be using next. And then just push it up. Going the other side, once again, I like to go behind. Start off with my base color, go with my accent color. This is not a tutorial on how to do it. That's why I'm not going really slow. It's just a helpful hint on it. So, once again, start off with my base color, go to my accent color. So, I guess if I was to do a tutorial on it, I would probably point you to the more professional people that do it. Once again, I want the left side on the top. You can see how it's coming along. Let me do this a little bit slower, so I guess I will enter tutorial mode, so that way you guys can see how I'm doing it. I'm probably doing it wrong. Like I said, this is my very first one. There's a couple mistakes in here that I see. You've got, like, to me, I see a loose knot right here. That one's a little bit tighter. I'm not perfect. I've never done this before. It's my first one. Just trying to say that again. But this is what I'm going to do. Okay. Once everything is done up there that you need to do, here's my colors. So what I'm doing is making a loop, bringing it across the front of all of them. I like to put my thumb and pinch it there. My accent color, the third one, hush, hush, goes behind it and then through it. Hush. And of course that was wrong. So let me undo it. See, that's what happens when I enter tutorial mode and stop doing what I'm doing and try to show somebody something. But, well, at least I caught it. That's the good thing. Okay, so make my loop, go in front of, and then behind. So my loop, I pinch it, go in front of, then behind and through. And because this thing is so long, it's starting to kind of, I've been stepping on it the whole entire time. So let me start off with my black again. Come and I pinch it in front of, behind and through. I know that might be kind of fast for some people, especially if you're a beginner. There's this wonderful thing on YouTube that you can do, which is that little space bar where it shows you your progression. Just go back and watch it several times. That's what I did. Starting with the one in the back, I make my loop. I go in front of, around the back, and through it. I tend to try to pull this down, going around the back, at the same time I bring it up. Start with the base color. I pinch it around the front, and through the front, back, and through. Using my third hand, which I have no third hand, just a joke, but pulling it down and then cinching it up. Once again, I want the left side to be on top. Pinch it in front of, around the back and through. Pulling it down, tightening it up. Starting off with your base color, pinch it around the front, pushing it around the back and through. There we go. Well, that's enough for this right now, and what I'll do is I'll come back later when I show you the rest of when this is all done, and when to the point where I'm about ready to put it on the gun. Hey, how are you doing? Okay, you can see that what I've done here so far. I've got my strap coming up and down. You can see where it's still hooked into the door, and I've been working it down, working it down, and working it down, and working it down to now to where my other buckle would be for my sling attachment. Kind of walking back, if you will, you can kind of get an idea of about how long it ended up being without a tape measure. I'm sorry, my dog is, I've got this on a tripod and my dog is biting the bottom corner. So anyways, if you look up here, you can kind of get an idea about how big it is. It's going to be almost from the door handle all the way up to the top of the door. So that gives you any idea for if you're doing one on your own. Once again, this is a do-it-yourself project for me. This is my very first time I've ever done anything like this. So hopefully it comes out nice. Let me try to reset the camera up here so that way you guys can get a decent view. What I'm doing now is, if you look at it, I'm trying to fuse together so that way it'll fuse together so that way it'll be the same length. So everything will work out good. So let me see. If I'm pulling it, I've got some tension on it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is bring it up here, kind of flipping it over. I'm going to burn it down a little bit. So that way it... I know you're supposed to use a lighter, but I'm using my fingers. So, let's again get an idea where it should be. Now I'm going to kind of flatten it, rolling it over so I can heat up basically both pieces at one time. And not trying to catch the rest of it on fire. Wowzer. Well, it's fused together. Maybe you can see that shiny part right there where it hit the side of the guard. Worked well. Fused together and almost fused my finger to it. It's freaking hot. So, no, it's not that bad. I'm just over exaggerating. So what I've got now is my buckle assembly on there. You can see where I've cut it. It's now just, that's gonna be the strap coming up, and that's gonna be the end of it. So what I'm gonna do now is just finish with this particular weave going in here. I'll finish weaving these colors back and forth through here, and when I'm done weaving these colors back in here, whatever excess there is, I'll pull it down like that. Don't make any rude comments, please. But anyways, to fulfill or fill this area down here. So I'll show you again once it's all done. Okay, you can see what I've done is come to the end of my gunsling that I'm making, and before I make sure that all the spacing is correct and all that, you can see both sides of it. What I'm doing is I'm lacing it, my color or accent color, back down through the back. I don't have those fid things, which are like needles that you put on the end here. I don't have those. If you look at the end of it, I did finish it on the same design, so it was crossing back and forth and crossed up here. On the sides, hopefully you can see maybe the shiny, if I can catch the angle, there you go. You can see the shiny where I've melted it, and then took the lighter, put it on there, and moved it back and forth so that way it gets as wide as possible. Same thing with this side. Hopefully you can see that shiny part there. But once again, what I'm doing is I'm working it back down the weave, but without fids. How do you do that, you ask? Well, I have these tiny little things right here, the like little forceps, whatever you want to call them. But what I've been doing is just kind of like going in my weave right here, sticking it through, open it up, grab me some, pulling it back through. You can see, pulls it through, I pull it tight, work it down. I've gone down about 4 of them so far. You can see this one versus the one on the other side. If I can grab it, you can see it's a little bit farther down. So I'll do another one on that side and then cut it and just let it kind of blend in there, but then come back and just work the front of it so that way it looks even. So let me do it one more time on this side. That's what I've been doing, is I've been working it down on both sides. You can see how I'm just sticking it through the loop. I pretty much have to get to where that pivot point is so you can operate it. Grab some and then pull it back through. Pull it tight, kind of shake it back and forth, let it work in. You can see how it ended up. I think with 4 of them in there, it ought to be pretty dang tight. So I'm going to go ahead and snip it right now. And then after I snip it, I'm going to go ahead and burn it in, because that's not something that's going to be irritable, because I'll always be wearing this over a shirt. I'm not going to wear it on bare skin, so should be fine. And here you go. Here's a picture of it burned in. You can see I went ahead and I burned it in. Just put the lighter on there, moved it back and forth real quick. I guess the metal cools it down enough really quick where by going like that, it just works really good. Is it a little shiny? Yeah. Did it get a little bit wider than what somebody might want on their wrist? Maybe, but running my thumb over it, I don't really feel anything. Maybe the inside, you know, the more sensitive part of your finger, I can kind of feel it a little bit. But if I was really that worried about it, I would just hit it with a lighter again and smooth it over with my finger, and it'd be fine.